Hi, I'd like to recite this table for extra lucidity. Let's focus on when the first word ends with an aha and the second word begins with a voiced consonant. For example, nara, naraha. See, so this aha is the same as here, aha. So whenever a word ends with an aha and it joins a second word that begins with one of these letters, then the aha changes to an o. So in this case, naraha, gajaha. So what's going to happen? We're going to have naro. And then the second word remains exactly the same. Naro, gajaha. No joining, by the way. In this case, let's move on to the unvoiced consonants. Naraha plus, suppose you have tishtati, which begins with a T. Then you would have naras tishtati. It would look like this. Naraha tishtati. The new combo would be naras and then join. Naras tishtati. So this means there is a joining. So how do you know where to join and not to join? Don't join in this. Don't join in the aha. Don't join in the aha, because it just remains the same aha. That means only join in this section here. Okay? Okay, let's focus on the aha. That means now we're going to focus on this row here. Okay? Naraha, many men, and then gajaha. Naraha, gajaha. So this means naraha plus ga equals a. So we're here now. This means we simply take away the visarga. So it becomes nara and then gajaha. Nara, from naraha gajaha to nara gajaha. What about naraha tishtanti? So we're gonna focus on here. What's gonna happen is same thing as we explained in last case. So it's gonna be naraha. Oops. Tishtanti. So what's going to happen? You're going to take away the visarga. That is going to go away. So what do you have? Nara. However, you replace the visarga with the S. So naras tishtanti. And then it joins, because I said earlier that whatever is in this section will join. Naras tishtanti. Naras tishtanti. That will be one word. Naras tishtanti. That will be the final word. So when you're reading this, you go, okay, as or as or ash or so as, ash, ash. So any of these ash or ash or as immediately reminds you it is actually a aha or a aha. Okay, what about the last row. So we focused on aha and aha. The last row says when you have any vowel except a or a and visarga join, then this rule applies. So any vowel except a or a just can be I, E, O. It can also be U, like guruhu. So suppose you have na, ra, I. See, this is one of those vowels. Naraihi. Naraihi gajaha. Naraihi gajaha. What does it say? Naraihi gajaha. Okay, we'll join them together. Narair. So you replace the visarga with r. So this means for the entire voiced consonants, the visarga gets replaced with the r. In this case, narair gajaha. Narair gajaha. And then you join them. So in this entire section here, there's a joining. In these two cases, there is no joining. That means the two words remain separate. In this case, the two words combine. Now, what about the unvoiced consonants? Let's see. Okay, suppose you have naraha or naraihi kushalam. Right, so we're going to focus on this one here. Naraihi kushalam. Kushalam, wellness or health. So what does it say? Naraihi plus kushalam. That means any vowel here before the visarga, any vowel before the visarga, that means any vowel like I, E, O, U, except A or A, because A or A already have their own rules separately. That's why we say any vowel except A or A. So any vowel before the visarga plus K remains exactly the same. So there's no change. It remains naraihi kushalam. There's no joining. Now what about naraihi tishtanti? Let's say naraihi tishtanti. So now focusing here. Naraihi tishtanti. What happens? The visarga gets replaced. Visarga means this, remember? Visarga gets replaced with s. So it becomes narai, narais, and then just tishtanti. So the general rule is the second word does not change at all. The second word does not change at all. All that happens is the last letter of the first word changes according to the rules as specified in this table. That's what Sandhi is about. The second word is immune. The first word, that means the last letter of the first word, this is word 1, therefore it's the first word. This is word 2. Word 2 remains intact. Word 1, what happens? Only the last letter changes according to the rules as specified in this table. That's what Sandhi is about. Okay, ablative we have spoken of. Ablative we have a new paradigm. From the man. From the man. Nara plus at equals narat. So that's from the man. From two men, narapyam. This is actually a long A there. Narapyam. And then narepyaha. From many men. So we have an example. Ashwaha narat gachati. So ashwaha gachati, horse goes, narat, from the man. The horse goes from the man. The sun comes from the horses. Comes is a new word. We said gachati. So gachati by itself is goes. If you add a prefix, that means the it means motion towards. So you combine them together. If he goes, then motion towards equals he comes. So gachati, he goes. Agachati, he comes. This means that the verbal prefix or the prefix in general can be added to many words in Sanskrit and it will change the meaning in a subtle fashion of that word, which we will get to in a future session. So the son comes. Putraha agachati. Putraha agachati. So this means son comes. From the horses. This is a plural, horses. So we focus on ashwepyaha. So putraha ashwepyaha agachati. Putraha ashwepyaha agachati. Now you apply sandhi to this according to the rules we have discussed above. And what do you have? Putraha plus a. Putro shwepyaha. Putro shwepyaha. Remember this is a... Remember the name of this? What's the name of that? You tell me. So what does this look like in Devanagari? Putro shwepya. Now shwepyaha plus agachati. So it's not an O, it is a simple a. Shwepya agachati. Okay. Putro shwepya agachati. Remember, if you join the aha plus long A, what happens? Aha plus long A. Long A is part of a vowel. It simply becomes a a. Therefore, putraha shwepya agachati. Okay, I study for practice. I study is patami. Also read. Patati. Patami. For practice. Practice abhyasaha. Abhyasaha. For practice, remember the formula. At. You take the stem, which is abhyasa. That's the stem. Plus at, abhyasat. 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 Abhyasat patami. I study for practice, or I read for practice. That is actually not, that's for, that's dative. That is, I study from practice, or I learn from practice. I learn from practice. So I learn from practice is abhyasat patami. From practice. From practice, abhyasat, learn, patami. Abhyasat patami. So this is actually correct. The only thing that was incorrect was I should put I study from instead of for. Okay, I drink water from the cup. We learned a new word today. Chashakaha, cup. Chashakaha. I drink water from the cup. Jalam pibami, water. Chashakaha, two. Ablative. Chashakat, jalam pibami. Chashakat, jalam pibami. So from cup, water I drink. I drink water from the cup. Then the genitive. Okay, this expresses possession or to have. So we'll focus on the possession first. How do you say the man's horse? Now when you think of genitive, think of that little apostrophe in English. So man's horse. All this means is the horse of the man. Horse of the man. But an easier way to understand it is the man's horse. So what's the first thing we notice? This word comes first. This word comes second. Which means man's horse, the new formula is stem plus sya. So stem of man is nara. Plus sya, that is the new genitive paradigm. That means man's, that means of the man. Equals narasya. Narasya, of the man. So, or man's. So narasya means of the man or man's. Exactly the same. Therefore, narasya ashwaha, man's horse, or the horse of the man. Now, what about to have? This is a second section in genitive. The moment you add the word bhavati, it changes the context of this entire sentence. Now it's no longer man's horse, it now becomes the horse, the man has a horse. The man has a horse. Again, let me go from the beginning. Okay. Narasya ashwaha. Man's horse. So far, we're quite comfortable with this. Let's do one more before we move on to have. Putrasya, son's cup. Putrasya chashakaha. Son's cup. Okay, you understand? Now, what about son has a cup? Okay, this is son's cup. Son has a cup. All you do is put a word bhavati in front. Sun has a cup. Now let's explain what's the logic behind this. In actual translation, this means cup exists. Cup exists. Or is. Cup is. We'll just stick with exists. Cup exists. So far, this is what it means. Cup is, or cup exists. Now, if you will put the word putrasya, it means of the sun, cup exists. That means of the sun, in other words, it's belonging to the sun. What belongs to the sun? The cup. Therefore, what's the formula to express to have? Step 1. To whom does it belong? To whom? You write it down. To the sun. In the form of a genitive. Putrasya. What belongs to the sun? The cup. Chakaha bhavati. What belongs? So that's two-step process. To whom does it belong? To the sun. What belongs to the sun? The cup. In other words, the verb qualifies the cup and not the sun, because these are two different worlds of their own. To whom is world 1, what belongs is world 2. So the verb qualifies the cup and not the sun. Let's do another example. How would you say boy has a hero? Boy has a hero. Okay. Again, let's create two worlds. World 1, world 2. World 2 would be what belongs. World 1 is to whom. Okay, to whom? The boy. Okay, so balasya. In other words, to whom does a hero belong? To the boy. Balasya. And hero is. Viraha bhavati. Of the boy, hero is. This means the boy has a hero. This is the formula how to say has. Because in Sanskrit, there is no such thing as to have. There is no verb to have. Instead, in Sanskrit, we say, of me, there is wellness. Of you, there is sun. Of Rama, there is Sita. Of Sita, there is Rama. Of Lakshmana, there is brother Rama. Of horse, there is, whatever a horse has, a saddle. Of the elephant, there is a tusk. Of laptop, there is monitor. So the formula for have is completely different than in English. That's why it's confusing to say it in this way that I've explained. in a perfect world, it would be like this. Boy, as in a perfect world, boy has a hero. It would say Balaha Viram, and then some verb for has, right? Whatever that is. That will be consistent with what we've learned so far, but it is not the case at all. All right, and let's see, genitive, we've covered. Ablative, okay, we've done everything. So I will put up the homework on the website.